Me?
Well, let's bring in senior advisor from the New Democrat Network, Alicia Menendez, and Comcast Network Washington Bureau Chief, Robert Trainum. Good morning to both of you.
Hey, Chris.
Okay, so, we've been hearing about this for weeks, nonstop. What can the president say in the next hour, Alicia, that might make a difference and help get this thing solved? Anything?
I think that's up in there. I'm sure that his speechwriters are busy trying to figure out what that would be. I think it is hard, given that he has given Republicans innumerable options, has put it to his own party, taking some of these sacred cows to slaughter, showing that he's willing to do whatever it takes to get this deal done. I think he can, retell that story one more time for the American people. But really, what's going to need to happen is that Boehner's going to need to get his caucus together. It's what he's saying to his caucus that's going to get this deal done.
And if you look at the polls, and Robert, I want to show you this one from Quinnipiac, it's pretty clear what the American people want. They think that a debt ceiling deal, overwhelmingly 67%, should include tax hikes for the wealthy. Is there a disconnect between the Republicans, Robert, and what the American people really want? Because they say they're speaking for the American people.
Of course, but what we have to remember, Chris, is that the United States House of Representatives represents their specific districts, not necessarily the states overall. And so what you see is a very hard conservative right in the House of Representatives that is speaking for their conservative base. And that's really the problem. Back to your original question, Chris, cooler heads really need to prevail here. And I think the president's right to say, you know what, guys, let's leave the table. Let's leave the emotions aside. Go back to your caucuses, speak to your caucuses, and get a feel and get a temperature check to see exactly what they're thinking here. So, I think both sides are right here. They're both deeply held beliefs. The real question is whether or not they can take those deeply held beliefs, put them aside, and do what's in the best interest of the country. That's clearly what the Pew poll is saying. That's clearly what the American people want, is for both sides to come together and says, let's get this done.
Right, but let's be honest, this is not about both caucuses. The Democratic caucus already got their act together. What we're all waiting on right now is the Republican caucus to sort out a mess within their caucus.
All right, let me just read something that
Alicia, I respectfully disagree. But hold on. I respectfully disagree because I was actually driving in the car today, and there were several members of the Congress on the left side that were saying we think that the president has given up too much. We think that he's compromising too much. We're not going to take a tough vote. So with all due respect, with all due respect, both sides here have deeply held beliefs.
Correct, but Democrats have their vote shored up. So the question now is, do Republicans have the vote shored up that they need to make this deal happen?
Well, let me read to you, if I can, Robert, what Charles Krauthammer wrote today. The Republicans are being totally outmaneuvered. The House Speaker appears disoriented. It's time to act, time to call Obama's bluff. What's your reaction to that? Robert?
Well, Mr. Krauthammer obviously speaks, Mr. Krauthammer clearly speaks for the hard right. And look, he has a very good point. He's speaking on behalf of a lot of folks out there that feel like they've been snookered already on a couple of deals. So the real issue is whether or not Speaker Boehner and obviously Leader Cantor can bring their side to the table, and whether or not that's going to be able to pass the smell test. You have Mitch McConnell out there floating his proposal that doesn't look it's not going to go anywhere, at least right for now. So there's a lot of fractures within the Republican Party and also in the Democratic Party as well, contrary to what Alicia just said.
Alicia Menendez, Robert Trainum, thanks for both coming in. It could be an interesting weekend.